Hello YouTube, how's it going? What? I see. My name is Adam Crone, also known as AC from AC Toy Design, and you're watching AC Toy Design on YouTube. Thank you for being here. It's been a while because I've been trying to figure out the most effective and productive way to reach you guys. All right, so I'm trying this new thing out. I wanted to share a new figure with you folks. It is a Patreon exclusive custom commission. Her name is Della Caine from the image comic Low by Remender. Whoa, she's right there. That was my big-eyed YouTuber thing. My impersonation of those big-eyed YouTubers. So anyway, I wanted to share her with you, give you a little breakdown of how I made her. She is going out to patron Jeff, member of the Patreon since its inception, since January. Thank you, sir. Jeff is part of the $100 tier, where every 4 months he sends me a list of 3 characters that he wants me to make. I pick one to surprise him with, and he gets surprised. And so I made Della Caine here. She's way over here, but in the rest of the video you're gonna be able to see her up close, which is the whole point. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit of how I made her. However, if you want more in-depth work in progress pictures, behind the scenes exclusive content, that'll be on the Patreon in the article that I wrote up with all the pictures. So you can go check that out. That's AC Toy Design. That's patreon.com/AC Toy Design. I just had a lot of coffee. Check out that purple background back there. I really like that light. It's pretty awesome. So let's get into this. So we're talking about Della Caine right here. Ray, get out of here. What are you doing? Get out of here. Go over there. All right. So Della Caine, she's all creepy over there. What's going on? So Della Caine here is a commission for one of my patrons who's at the $100 level. And every 4 months he sends me a list of 3 characters that he would like me to make for him. I pick one and I surprise him with it. And in this one, I picked Della Caine, who is a character from Rick Remender's image comic Low. She's sort of a Russian assassin woman. And what I wanted to do in this video is just give you a breakdown of how I made her. If you want to see her work in progress photos, behind the scenes photos, breakdown article tutorials on her, how I made her, like visually and specifically in more detail, go check out my Patreon at patreon.com/AC Toy Design. I post exclusive content on there almost daily, some of which are those tutorials and Q&As and all kinds of stuff. That's where you can go to find her more in-depth tutorial. But what I wanted to show you today was just sort of a breakdown of how I made her, what you're looking at exactly. And so we see, there you go. What you're looking at is a Marvel Legends base figure mixed with a Mattel wrestling figure. The Mattel wrestling woman is from the top of the boot up to the neck. The head is a Wasp Marvel Legends head. The boots, I believe these were Elektra boots from Marvel Legends. They were Marvel Legends female. Can't remember exactly which one. Also, the shoulder pads were from just some fodder that I had that I sculpted some more detail on there. So as far as the kit bash goes, and then Marvel Legends female hands here. She's got 3 sets of interchangeable hands. Open hands, as you can see, on her hips and on her knife. And then she's got closed fist hands. And then she's got weapon holding hands. And as far as the making of the figure after the kit bash, and I did all the joint prep to make sure her joints didn't chip any paint or anything like that, which is something you have to do. I sculpted dremeled down the top of the head, sculpted the hat here, sculpted the hair on her face, sculpted her jacket, the white, sculpted her shoulder pads, sculpted her sleeves here. I sculpted her belt, sash, thingamajig. Yeah, you can see that. What else did I sculpt? Her boot cuffs here. A little bit of the boot cuff. Oh, and her neck piece, the black in there. All sculpted. If you want to know more about that process of making her, of sculpting those, and the supplies and all that stuff that I used, that'll all be on the Patreon page. She's fully articulated, so let's check that out. Move your hand, there you go. I made her a custom knife out of about 4 different parts, and again, you can see those parts on the Patreon. Her trademark custom rifle from the comic book art is made up of about 4 different guns with sculpted parts. Gave it a paint job of a black wash and some blue highlight, blue steel look to it, sort of handgun, machine gun. Right here. Maybe we switch out some of these hands for some weapons in here. Right. Chop. Chop. Boom. Chop. What else? Let's give her another hand here. How engaging is this video? Pretty good? If you guys like them, let me know. Put a gun in here. Look at that. Bang. So that's what she looks like with her stuff. Got the sight. As far as painting, that was gray layer first, dry brush of white, insignia red, and some gloss over her shoulder pads once they were sculpted. Flat black all over the figure, and then some gloss black on her belt to set it apart. I've got a real metal ring in there for her belt that I glued in and then sculpted over. Her scabbard here is made from some fodder, some plastic that I had. And then her body was painted. I always mix my own skin tones. Body was painted with that. I always start with white, mix in some brown, and then other colors. I went through that whole recipe on the Patreon of how I did that, what goes into my mixes and stuff. And then the biggest, and gloss on her black. So the hardest part of this figure, the sculpting is pretty tough. And I go into that a little bit more on the Patreon because I sculpted her whole jacket and I wasn't happy with it. So I heated it up, tore it off, restarted. And now I really like how it turned out. It's got a lot of texture, a lot of depth, very dynamic. A lot of contrast between that and the shoulder pads. But the toughest part of this whole figure was this cloth skirt cape thing, okay? And it's posable. It's got wires in there, so it can pose different ways, right? And the way that I did that was, and again, there's more pictures and behind the scenes pictures of this process on the Patreon. The way that I did that was I cut the shape a little bigger than I needed, and then I laid down wire around the edge just inside the edge, and then folded those edges over and glued them down with super glue. And it worked. That's one way that I had seen people doing it. The other way is to sew it instead of gluing it, which I'd like to try that, but you really need a sewing machine to do that effectively, especially time-wise, but also to get it to stay. You need a sewing machine. So to do that by hand would be a pain in the butt. So anyway, did it with super glue. It worked. Super glued it to her back here and then painted. I held off on painting until I had that attached. And that's pretty much the whole figure. Della Caine from Low by Remender. I hope you guys like it. Let me stand her over here. Let me put her right there with all her stuff. Let's put her sword knife thing. She's a bad A. Mamma Jamma. Look at her. What? What? Look at this. Look at this. All right. So anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did like it and subscribe. I'm gonna do more of these as long as this goes all right. Hopefully that thumbnail picture that I took earlier will work, right? If you want to find me on social media, AC Toy Design, pretty much all over the place. If you want to help support the channel, if you want to get content, exclusive content, and all kinds of cool stuff, and be a part of an awesome community, go check out the Patreon at patreon.com/actoydesign. I will welcome you there with open arms and your own little story, which is what I do with everybody. Excuse me, I just burped. Muji says hello, she's doing well. And I will see you in the future. There's a thumb for you. Della. So again, I want to thank you folks for being here on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and bell icon. I haven't been sleeping well, so I've developed this eye twitch, so I hope that hasn't distracted you too much. If you enjoyed the video and you want to help support the channel and help it grow, see videos more often, go check out the Patreon. It's patreon.com/actoydesign. Exclusive content on there every day. And with that said, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the future. These lights are really bright. I don't know, do I need one? Is that one good? All right.